TOEFL Junior Practice Test 5. The listening section has 42 questions. Follow along as you listen to the directions for the listening section. Directions. In this section of the test, you will hear a teacher or other school staff members talking to students. Each talk is followed by one question. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You will hear each talk only one time. Here is an example. Listen to a teacher speaking to a class.
Today we have a new student joining our class. Her name is Sarita, and she just moved here with her family. I'd like you all to make Sarita feel welcome by showing her around the school and explaining how to find the gym and library. Remember that she doesn't know anyone here, so please be friendly.
What does the teacher want the students to do? Now read the answer choices. The correct answer is A. Help a new classmate. Here is another example. Listen to a music teacher talking to a class.
The next song I'll play will feature some very interesting instruments. I'll turn up the volume a little bit so you can hear these instruments in the background, so sit back and enjoy the music. When this piece is over, we will have a discussion about it.
What will the students probably do next? Now read the answer choices. The correct answer is B. Listen to some music. Number 1. Listen to a school principal speaking to the students.
Because I regard learning as a sacred endeavor, everything in this school will reflect learning's elevated status. This means, among other things, that you and your teachers will dress accordingly. There will be a formal dress code at this school, and you will address all teachers by their title, not by their first name. They are your teachers, not your buddies.
What does the principal want to tell the students? Number 2. Listen to a history teacher talking to a class.
In 1782, Jean de Crevecoeur published Letters from an American Farmer, in which he defined an American as a descendant of Europeans, who, if he were honest, sober, and industrious, prospered in a welcoming land of opportunity, which gave him choice of occupation and residence.
What point does the speaker make about an American? Number 3. Listen to a science teacher speaking to a class.
As you know, hurricanes are severe tropical storms that form in the southern Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Hurricanes gather heat and energy through contact with warm ocean waters. Evaporation from the seawater increases their power. Hurricanes have winds at least 74 miles per hour. When they come onto land, the heavy rain, strong winds, and heavy waves can damage buildings, trees, and cars.
What is probably true about hurricanes? Number 4. Listen to a music teacher speaking to a class.
Class, throughout American history, popular music has reflected the mood and opinions of the times. By exploring sheet music, you will analyze issues related to industrialization and reform to answer the essential question: how does society respond to change? So you can have the opportunity to create original lyrics and song covers that reflect the progressive era.
What does the teacher want the students to do? Number 5. Listen to an English teacher speaking to a class.
Interested in a hike? Take a walk on the field trail. This trail lets you get outside and learn about local weather and climate. Signs along the trail describe phenomena such as wind, cold fronts, sunshine, and UV light, mountain waves, climate zones, snow, flooding and erosion, fire and drought, plant life and climate, and the brown cloud as you walk. The trail is a loop about 0.4 miles.
What will the students probably do next? Number 6. Listen to a school principal speaking to a group of students.
As a new principal, I had a tendency to work late into the night and on weekends. And while I still have a tendency to do that, I have learned that I need balance in my life. The paperwork is always going to be there, and there will always be a litany of meetings to attend. Take time to renew yourself. Take a class, go to the gym, meditate, pray, or simply spend time with loved ones. Renewing yourself and your spirit can go a long way toward helping one get through those late nights and weekends.
What point does the principal make in his speech? Number 7. Listen to a teacher speaking to his class.
Planting a tree in memory of someone is a wonderful way to commemorate that person's life. Not only is it a living reminder of that individual, but it benefits the entire community and world. Please complete a list which gives just a few of the benefits we receive from trees.
What will the class probably do next? Number 8. Listen to a culture teacher speaking to a class.
Agatha Christie was one of England's most famous writers. Her crime and detective stories became famous for their clever plots. Some of her novels, like Death on the Nile, were set in the Middle East. Murder on the Orient Express was written in Istanbul. Her stage play The Mousetrap is the longest-running play in history. It was first performed in 1952, and after a record 23,000 performances, it is still running today.
What is the purpose of the talk? Number 9. Listen to an art teacher speaking to a class.
Our lesson focuses on poems that have appeared in famous films such as O Captain, My Captain by Walt Whitman and Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Each year, the United States obsesses about the awards from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, otherwise known as the Oscars. Yet, how often do we notice that poems are included in films, award-winning or otherwise? This lesson will help you to look at the often overlooked connection between poetry and film.
What will the students probably do next? Number 10. Listen to a head teacher speaking to a class.
Class, school begins at 8 a.m. every morning. You are allowed in your classrooms by 7:55 a.m., and you are expected to be sitting in the first period class by 8 o'clock a.m. The doors open at 7:30 a.m. Breakfast is served in the cafeteria at that time. All of you will be given a school identification card at the beginning of the year. Each morning, you will need to swipe your ID card as you enter the school. This is a security measure that allows the school to track which of the students are in and out of the building, but is not used to take attendance.
What is the purpose of the talk? Directions. Now you will hear some conversations. Each conversation is followed by 3 or more questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You will hear each conversation only one time. Number 11. Questions 11 through 13. Listen to a conversation between 2 students.
I'd love to play hockey with you sometime.
That sounds good.
I've never played before.
It's my favorite sport.
What are the basic rules?
Well, you need 5 players per team, plus a goalie.
What does the goalie do?
His job is to stop the puck from going in the net.
Is that important?
It's the most important thing in the entire game.
That's how you win?
Correct. The team with the most goals wins.
Can there be ties?
Yes, you can tie, but you could also play a shootout.
You can pick either one?
Yes. You have to decide before the game starts, however.
What about the championship game?
What about it?
You can't tie a championship game. You need a winner.
That is true.
What do you do then?
In a championship game, you play until someone breaks the tie.
How long could that last?
It would last as long as it takes for a team to break the score.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now answer the questions. 11. What's the main topic of the conversation? "12. What does the boy say about the goalie? "13. What does the boy imply when he says, 'Yes, you can tie, but you could also play a shootout'?" Number 12. Questions 14 through 17. Listen to a conversation between 2 students.
Do you want to watch a movie tonight?
Yes, I do.
What kind of film do you want to see?
I don't know. Something scary sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
I love horror films.
Me too. Why do you think that is?
It's because it's so fictional. It allows us to break loose.
That is true.
Plus, it's always good to have a good scare.
What's your favorite horror movie?
I love the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Those are terrifying.
I also like the Stephen King movie.
Oh yeah, me too.
My favorite King movie is The Shawshank Redemption.
Wow, that's my all-time favorite movie.
It really is amazing.
I love quoting that movie. It's inspiring.
Yeah, it may not be a horror film, but it is still epic.
Have you read the short story it's based on?
No.
You should.
What book is it in?
It's in a Stephen King book called Different Seasons.
Well, I'm off to the store to buy it.
Now answer the questions. 14. What is the main topic of the conversation? "15. Why does the boy love to watch horror films? "16. What can be inferred about the student's interests in movies? "17. What will the boy probably do next? Number 13. Questions 18 through 21. Listen to a conversation between 2 friends at school.
Do you recycle?
Yeah, I do. How about you?
I only recycle glass.
I recycle everything. I recycle glass, paper, and plastic.
That's cool. I guess you care about the environment a lot.
I do. I think people pollute way too much.
I don't know a lot about pollution.
Well, there are many different kinds of pollution.
Oh, really? Like what?
Yes, air pollution and light pollution are 2 of them.
How do people prevent pollution?
Well, driving less and using clean forms of energy prevent pollution.
Don't cigarettes pollute?
Yes, they do. People should be more considerate.
I think people should do more to protect the environment.
Me too. The government should also be involved.
I guess so, but it's really the people's responsibility.
What about businesses?
Businesses have gotten more mindful of the environment.
Yes, they have. I'm glad the car industries make hybrids now.
Me too. Electric energy and solar energy are really cool.
We should use solar energy more. It's so smart.
I don't know. I think electric energy is cooler.
Both of them are necessary.
Why do you think that?
Well, with all this overpopulation, humans are using up their resources.
This is true. We have to start looking for more.
Yeah, overpopulation is really a big problem.
It's a big problem for people and for nature.
What do you think we should do about it?
Sadly, there isn't much we can do.
At least people are looking for alternate forms of energy.
Yeah, some people think worrying about it is pointless.
I disagree with them.
Me too. They care too much about standards of living.
Well, you can have a high standard of living and still care about the environment.
I completely agree.
Now, answer the questions. 18. What is the main topic of the conversation? (20) What does the girl imply when she says, "Sadly, there isn't much we can do"? (21) All the following are things people will probably do if they want to protect the environment, except. Number 14. Questions 22 through 25. Listen to a conversation between two friends.
Wow, this festival is tons of fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad we came. I've had so much cotton candy.
I had 3 hot dogs today.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm surprised you haven't gotten sick.
Me too, especially after riding that spinning ride.
That was a lot of fun. I liked the Ferris wheel too.
Yeah, you could see for miles and miles at the top.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're not scared of heights.
Festivals are so cool.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go see if we can find our friends.
Okay, I think I saw them at the arcade.
But we already went to the arcade. I thought it was boring.
Yeah, so did I. Let's just go back to the food section.
Don't they have some cool gift shops too?
Yeah, I think they do. I want a necklace.
I want to get some souvenirs.
I also want to get some cool things for my friends.
Maybe we should go play some games and win some stuff for our friends.
That would be fun. Those games are hard, though.
It's worth a shot.
All right, let's go.
Now, answer the questions. 22. What does the boy imply when he says, "Wow, that's a lot. I'm surprised you haven't gotten sick"? 23. Why doesn't the boy go to the arcade? 24. What will the boy and the girl do in the gift shops? 25. What will the boy and the girl probably do next? 'Directions. Now you will hear some talks and discussions about academic topics. Each talk or discussion is followed by 4 or more questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You will hear each talk or discussion only one time. Number 15. Questions 26 through 29. Listen to a teacher talking in a history class.
Many religions look upon the eastern shore of the Mediterranean Sea as their homeland. This historic land is called Palestine. Before the birth of Christ, the Jews also lived there. Later on, the Romans invaded the area and made it Christian. The Jews were driven away and had to live in other parts of the world. Muslims also think of Palestine as a holy place. In the Middle Ages, the land was ruled by the Turks of the Ottoman Empire, and more Arabs came to Palestine. In the middle of the 19th century, Jews started to think about coming back to Palestine. This idea was called Zionism. By the beginning of the 20th century, more and more Jews came back to Palestine and started a new life there. At the end of World War I, the Turks were defeated and Great Britain ruled Palestine. The British helped the Jews and wanted to create a new country for them. During the Second World War, about 6 million Jews were murdered by German Nazis in the Holocaust. Those who survived had no place to go. In 1947, the United Nations decided to divide Palestine into two states, Israel for the Jews and Palestine for the Arabs. The Jews accepted the plan, but the Arabs didn't want the Jews to take over their country. When the British left Palestine in 1948, Israel declared its independence. At once, Arab countries started to attack the new state, but Israel fought back and won. It also expanded its territory and occupied more land than the UN gave it. Other Arab countries, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, took over the Arab part of Palestine. Over 700,000 Palestinians became refugees. Most of them fled to Israel's neighbors.
Now, answer the questions. 26. What is the main idea of the talk? (27) Why did the Jews leave their homeland in the ancient times? (28) How did the Arabs come to Palestine? (29) Why did 700,000 Palestinians become refugees? Number 16. Questions 30 through 33. Now you will hear part of a radio program.
Dr. Ashley, can tumor cells get passed to another person through blood contact? For example, from blood donations or used needles, and can cancer be transmitted from the mother to an unborn child while in the womb?
Well, cancer spreading from one individual to another via blood is very unlikely. When cancer in one part of the body spreads to another part of the body, the outlook for a patient is rarely positive. Given how frequently this happens, it may come as a surprise to know that the spread of cancer from one person to another is actually incredibly rare.
You mean generally? In well people who are not immune suppressed, getting cancer from one individual to another via blood is very unlikely, right?
Yeah, several large studies have been conducted to specifically examine this question. One study looked at about 1/3 of a million blood recipients, of which about 12,000 were at risk of blood being transfused from a donor with subclinical cancer, and they found no increase in risk. This evidence fits with what we know about how the immune system responds to foreign matter. In the case of blood transfusion, blood types such as AB, and O is carefully matched between the donor and recipient, so the recipient's immune system doesn't see the red blood cells as foreign and destroy the red blood cells. If there are cancer cells in that blood, there are other unique proteins on the surface of those cells that in the majority of cases mark them out as foreign. The recipient's immune system therefore identifies them and destroys them before they can settle in.
I see what you mean. Thanks.
Now answer the questions. 30. What is the main topic of the conversation? (31) What is the opinion of the man about the cancer cells? (32) What can be inferred from the recent studies? Number 17. Questions 34 through 38. Now you will hear a speaker talking to a class on a trip to Central Park.
Central Park is one of those places that make New York such a great place to live. The huge park, 341 hectare large, 843 acres, is located in the center of Manhattan. Its design has served as an example for city parks around the world. The park also featured an English-style landscape with large meadows, several lakes, and hills. There's plenty to see and do in Central Park. Sports facilities can be found all over the park, but most of the interesting sites are found in the lower half of Central Park. You'll come across historical buildings, statues, monuments, beautiful bridges, and of course, plenty of nature. In the center of the Central Park is the Mall, a wide boulevard lined with American elm trees. Brings you from the dairy to the Bethesda Terrace, one of Central Park's architectural highlights. Just west of the mall is one of the Central Park's largest open spaces. The Sheep Meadow is an expansive pasture, popular in summertime with sunbathers, while the Oval Lawn, created in 1937, often plays host to free summer concerts. There are many bridges in Central Park, each with a unique design. One of the most interesting is the 18-meter, 60 feet long cast-iron bow bridge that spans the lake between Cherry Hill, near the Bethesda Terrace, and the Ramble, a 15-hectare, 38-acre large woodland. Here Central Park is at its most natural, with narrow paths winding through thickets of trees. This is a popular place for bird watching. The Ramble is on a transatlantic migration route, and more than 250 different bird species have been spotted here.
Now answer the questions. 34. What is the main topic of the speech? (35) What does the speaker mean when he says, its design has served as an example for city parks around the world? (36) What is the distinct feature of the park? (38) What can be inferred about the Central Park? (40) What's wrong with the girl's fire?